Welcome to the No Spin News for Monday, February 17, 2025, President's Day. Stand up for your country. So we're working. I hope you head off. If you're here in the Northeast or in the upper Midwest, even the Midwest, can't do anything. It's too cold. It's freezing here. Terra Dog actually fell in a mud. Oh, boy. If you could have seen me this weekend. So cold and icy. When she goes out, she falls in this big mud pit. I guess it was my fault, but then I had to throw her in the bath, and it's just like there were many bad words. Not by her. She doesn't, but by me. Anyway, I'm not the weatherman, but I wanted to bring you up to date on the status of where we are here in the Northeast. President's Day. So most Americans, sadly, don't care about their presidents, and it's the same. It's the guy that's in they care about. So what are you going to do for me? It's the opposite of JFK's inaugural address. But they don't care about, what has happened in the past because they live in a moment. Now, I have the most successful history series in history. Nobody sold more history books than me ever. And I'm very proud of that. And we have Confronting the Presidents out now. 22 consecutive weeks on the New York Times list. So if you care about the presidents, you got to get that book. And it's President's Day, that's Lincoln and Washington. And I wrote books on both of them. Killing Lincoln, my first book, and Killing England, which is Heavy George Washington. But both Lincoln and Washington appear in Confronting the Presidents as well. Anyway, you read those three books, you'll know everything. Not everything, but all the pertinent information about the two best presidents, Lincoln and Washington, and then all the rest of them, including the worst, James Buchanan, and the second worst, Joe Biden. So I'm giving myself a plug, but it's a worthy plug. You will learn a lot. Now, President Trump is the most controversial president in history. He's passed Andrew Jackson. And he's having fun by doing all kinds of stuff that annoy the people who hate him, and that's the goal. Every time he sends out a tweet, every time he says something, the design is to drive his opposition nuts. And he uses that. Okay. I don't think the appointment of Elon Musk was done in that vein. I think that Trump said, look, this is a smart guy. He's running all kinds of corporations. I want him to take a look and see where the government is wasting money. I think that's what it was. I don't think even Trump anticipated the hatred that would be directed toward Musk. And that is the Talking Points memo this evening. Okay, so I get a lot of mail that is just so crazy because people are believing what they hear on network, cable, and social media. And it's astonishing. These people will say things that just simply aren't true. Here is the truth. I can only give you a portion of it because I don't have 8 hours, but I'm going to do that. So the national debt right now is more than $36 trillion. If that continues to rise the way it has the last 8 years under Trump first and Biden, then the country will go bankrupt around between 40 and 45 trillion. What does bankrupt mean? We're not going to be able to pay our debts. And that will send a shock wave through the worldwide economy. So you have to stop it. Trump knows that. You have to stop it. Can't continue to do this. Biden was the biggest spending president in our nation's history. Every year he was in, about $2 trillion was added to the debt. Okay? Can't do it. It's unsustainable. And Biden couldn't have cared less. He didn't even know because he wasn't able to calibrate that kind of an equation. Now, you've heard a lot of things about government waste. Let's give you a few examples. This is verified. This is true. So $20 million taxpayer dollars was spent on a Sesame Street show in Iraq for Iraq kids. 20 million American dollars. 24 million spent on green transportation in the country of Georgia. Okay? Georgia, not the state, the country which was formerly part of the Soviet Union. Almost $50 million has been sent to God knows who in Colombia, the country of Colombia, to help Venezuelan migrants, people who fled that country. $50 million. And we don't even know who's getting that money. It's not going to the migrants. $40 million for schooling in Jordan, the country of Jordan. $45 million for DEI scholarships in Burma, which is Myanmar, run by a military dictatorship. I don't believe that last number. I don't believe it. I think that money was just stolen outright by somebody. But that's what's on the sheet. That's what's verified by the USAID. They sent the money. Did the money get there? They don't know. Musk doesn't know. All Musk knows is that all of that money I just told you was sent. Nobody watched it. Now, you say to yourself, why? Why? It's a tradition for the American government to bribe other countries to do what we want by sending them aid. That's the overarch. So we want Jordan to do stuff. We want Myanmar to do stuff for us. So we send them money in aid form. That's the con. All right. Here are some what you've heard that isn't true. Okay? 56 million to boost tourism in Egypt and Tanzania, Africa. Did not happen. 50 million for condoms to go to people in Gaza. Did not happen. 8 million to Politico, to fund Politico, which is a left-wing internet website. Did not happen. I thought that happened, that last one, but my staff said no. 44,000 was sent to Politico. Nobody knows why, but not 8 million. Now, there are other things that people are accusing the government of doing that didn't happen. And when we see it, we'll report it, because that's what we do. Okay. Now, this has been going on, as I said, ever since World War II ended. That's when all of this started, because the United States needed cooperation to fight Stalin and Mao, the communists, who we bought countries by giving them aid. That's the historical basis of it. And then it, on and on and on and on. You can't, the numbers are so big you couldn't even add them up to how much American tax money has been sent to countries overseas. All right, so now you know that picture. Bill at BillO'Reilly.com if you have any questions. Name and town. Bill at BillO'Reilly.com. Now, Trump wants to shrink the federal workforce because it's bloated. So right now, there are 2.4 million Americans working for the federal government. Maybe you need half that. So Trump has offered a buyout. The buyout is, we'll pay you your salary and benefits through September of this year. If you don't take the buyout, you could get fired with nothing. That's what Trump is offering. 75,000 federal employees have accepted the buyout. Now, some are suing. Trump's going to win all of those suits. He is the president. Executive branch has the constitutional right to control government spending, even if the spending has been allocated by Congress. If it's abusive or wasteful or criminal, the executive branch can come in and say, we're not going to do it. Where do you see? So Trump's going to win all of those lawsuits. The final thing is, why would anybody be opposed to this? You know, if you have to stop the debt or everybody's going to get crushed, why would you be opposed to Elon Musk doing it? Now, I guess Musk will make some mistakes and maybe he'll overshoot They go on, classified information in his personal records. I'm not upset about it. I got to tell you, I don't want those people to get private records, but I haven't seen any evidence of that. So I don't. If they're opposed, they gotta tell me why they're opposed, and I'm really not buying it. And that's the memo. Ivermectin. It's a name you've heard of, but forget the noise. This is about access to the medications you and your family really need. If you've had trouble getting it, you're not alone. That's why you need to check out All Family Pharmacy. As a licensed pharmacy in Florida, they make it easy to get ivermectin, mebendazole, and other medications that have become far too difficult to access. They'll provide the doctor's prescription, handle the whole process, ship it right to your door. It doesn't get much easier than that. Preparedness is not a luxury these days, it's a necessity. So don't wait for the system to crash down on you. Go to their new website, allfamilypharmacy.com/bill. Use code BILL10 for 10% off your order. Be proactive, take control, make sure your family is ready for whatever comes next. Okay, let's get to the mail. We got Louis Stamas, Buckeye, Arizona. Hey, Bill, I've heard USAID was established through executive order. Will you confirm? No, I will not, Louis, because it's not true. You see, I get hundreds of these letters. 1961, JFK president, Congress established USAID. No executive order involved. Gary Holt, Anchorage, Alaska, talking about coal. Ooh. President Trump wants to disband the Department of Education. Why did he bother appointing Linda McMahon as Secretary of Education? Because he can't disband it. Congress, the only one can. Now, he can slim it down, and that's what Linda's going to do, but he can't chuck it. Jerry, Bill, I don't get the Putin thing. Why rule NATO membership out even before starting negotiations? Because Putin wouldn't show up unless you did. You got to take NATO off the table for Ukraine, or Putin's not showing up. You got to get him to the table. And that was never going to happen anyway, Ukraine, NATO. It's too provocative to the Russian system. Scott Malone, Ellsworth, Maine. How do you see the Ukraine border ending up if Trump and Putin come to a ceasefire? Ukraine will lose some territory. Backwater mostly, but it'll lose some. Putin has to save face. That's what's likely to happen. Mary Loftus, Lenexa, Kansas. Catholic Charities received over $2 billion from the U.S. government. So Pope Francis is taking billions from the American taxpayer. That's not even close to being truth, Mary. Okay? It's not even in the universe of truthfulness. So Catholic Charities received $5.5 million in 2024 fiscal year. Not $2 billion. $5.5 million. That money was earmarked for humanitarian purposes. Food, shelter, blankets. Okay? Now, Mary, if you would do me a colossal favor and just tell me who told you that Catholic Charities got $2 billion. I would like to know that. Creston says, Pope Francis is so enamored of letting in migrants, why doesn't he let them into the Vatican? He has walls. Yeah, he has walls because that's the way the structure is in Vatican City. But you can walk into Vatican City anytime you want. There's no wall to keep you out. Have you been? So if you want to go inside St. Peter's or the museums, then they wand you as anybody would. And the Pope has protections. The Swiss guards protect him because if they didn't, they'd kill him. So again, this is all propaganda. It's all nonsense. Jay Batista, Newington, Connecticut. Why does PBS receive government funding and still ask for donations? Because it wants money. Government funding is about 20%, maybe 25% of what PBS and NPR do, and the other 75% is local. But I don't want to give them 25. Bill Shinoa, Charlotte, North Carolina. I've enjoyed many of the killing books. I've recently finished Confronting the Presidents. And now that President Trump is in his second term, I wanted to learn about the history of him. So I read The United States of Trump. A great behind-the-scenes look. Yes, it is. Care about President Trump? That's what you want to read, The United States of Trump. Thank you for reading my books. Renee DeWisse, Charlotte, North Carolina. This Bill is from Charlotte and Renee is from Charlotte. I've read many of your books. Killing England, Killing the Riches are my favorites. The new book sounds interesting. It's talking about killing evil. I am wondering why modern day evil isn't included. Of course it's included. Putin's on the cover of the book. There's a lot of modern day stuff in Confronting Evil. Wendy Miner, Hawaii. Love my Not Woke t-shirt. I get lots of comments, but best of all, people want to take a picture with me. I made a lot of new friends. Aloha, Wendy. I told you. Okay, get that Not Woke gear. The polos, the tees, the hats. Yeah, there they are, the mugs. You'll make a lot of friends. People now want to take pictures with people who are wearing this stuff. Throw me up there with the hat. Okay, macho. There we go. Look at that. All right, BillO'Reilly.com store has it. Sign up for our free newsletter, please, while you're at the site. Free. It's free. Okay, we'll be back with the Saturday Night Live assessment in a moment. Are you worried about the IRS collecting and unsavory tactics by that group? Tax Network USA, the nation's premier tax relief firm, can help you. They've already negotiated more than $1 billion in tax relief for their clients. Their services include penalty forgiveness, hardship programs, which can delay payments until your tax debt expires, and lump sum settlement options through offer in compromise. Whether you owe $10,000 or $10 million, their experts are ready to assist you. Even if you're behind on taxes due to missing records, Tax Network USA can guide you through the process. Tax season long over, and for the IRS, that means it's collection season now. So to schedule a complimentary consultation, please call 800-958-1000 or visit tnusa.com/bill. Don't let the IRS aggressive tactics control you. Take charge of your financial future. Visit tnusa.com/bill today. President Trump's victory is a win for America. That's what most voters think. But Bidenomics has left us with a failing economy. I rely on American Hartford Gold to protect my savings with physical gold and silver, and you should consider that. American Hartford Gold has thousands of five-star ratings and an A+ from the Better Business Bureau. A tax-advantaged gold IRA can shield you from worsening inflation. You can even roll over your 401k or IRA tax-free and penalty-free. So act now before it's too late. Call or text American Hartford Gold. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you for up to $15,000 of free silver on qualifying orders. Call 866-501-5201 or text BILL to 65532. That's 866-501-5201 or text BILL to 65532. Final thought of the day, I'm doing a piece on Saturday Night Live's 50th on YouTube. Okay, we have a YouTube channel. It's YouTube, let me just see, .com/Bill O'Reilly, all right? So I'm going to throw this up in a little while. It's going to be my review of not only the special that ran last night on NBC, but Saturday Night Live 50 years. And you'll be surprised by what I say. But we want you to sign up for our YouTube channel. That's important to us. So if you would do that, we will reward you. You'll find it interesting. So I watched the show last night, and I appeared on Saturday Night Live in a skit 13 years ago tomorrow. Okay, that's not me. That's Steve Martin. Okay? Bill Murray. So I appeared on February 18th, 2012, if you want to look it up. It's funny. I'll tell you about it in more detail. But last night I thought it was a pretty good show. But I don't really care about the show. I care about the legacy of satire. We need satire in this country. Now, Saturday Night Live started off, wasn't that political. It's always a liberal show because New York City is liberal. The entertainment industry is liberal, so it's always liberal. But in 1975, when it came on, Belushi and Aykroyd and Radner and all those people, they were in business to make you laugh. They weren't in business to make points. Over the years, it really stayed a satirical program until Trump. Boom. Then it went far left. Okay? Even though Trump hosted in 2015, he hosted the show. And he got big numbers. But once the Trump thing started, Saturday Night Live then went and hurt itself dramatically. I think Laurie Michaels, who I know, and he's a genius. Michael's a genius. Tough guy. I think he knows. Because last night in the 3.5 hours, very little politics. Very little. Not even a Trump impersonation. And they did funny impersonations of Jimmy Carter, Gerald Ford, George Bush the Younger and the Elder, Obama. They were on it. But we need laughs in this country. And that is the worthiness of Saturday Night Live. And I'll get into it in micro detail on YouTube. But I respect the program. And they wanted me to host it, but I just couldn't break away from Fox. Because if you host a show, you got to be there for 6 days. And I just couldn't. But I did the skit for them, and I enjoyed it very much. And thank you for watching and listening tonight. We've got a very action-packed week for you. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.